morning. How's everyone doing today? Sunday morning? Feeling energetic? Yeah? Cool. It's such a privilege to be here today. 2 years ago, I was sitting here at Festival for the Future at the AUT Centre. I was in my final year of high school. It was nearing the end of the year, and to be honest, I was starting to feel quite stressed. Everyone was asking me, even strangers would ask me, what are you going to do once you finish school? Has anyone been asked that question here? Yeah? Has anyone felt stressed when you were asked that question? I was feeling a little bit that way because I didn't know the answer to that question, and I knew that I was going to have to make some decisions soon. Earlier on in that year, I'd been going for these 2 opportunities as well. I'd been going for this next sports team up, and I'd been going for this advocacy role. And for me, those were kind of the steps up to where I saw myself going in those areas in the future. And unfortunately, I did miss out on both of those opportunities, which was really disappointing. But to be honest, it was not as devastating as I expected it to be if I wasn't successful. So those setbacks actually gave me a real opportunity to see them rather than a setback, just to step back and to look at those and go, is that where I want to go? Is that where I want to keep channeling my energy, or is there something different? So there I was at Festival for the Future, and I was meeting so many people and hearing from so many people that were incredibly passionate about what they did for work. And that was really striking to me because I'd met a lot of people who I talked to them about their work, and they'd say things like, oh wow, it pays the bills. And it felt kind of scary because myself and many of my friends were standing at this point. It felt like we were standing at this precipice, about to make the next step, and it felt really scary to think about what if we just fell into work that paid the bills. But what was really exciting was thinking about what if we stepped into work that we were as passionate about as those people I saw on stage. So in a crazy turn of events, my what next turned into working on creating a social enterprise that would help others find their what next. I entered Live the Dream and spent 9 weeks researching, testing ideas, learning about business, doing a lot of things that felt really uncomfortable. And at the end of it, I'd created a pilot for a program for high school students and decided that this was something I actually wanted to stick with. I decided I'm not going to do university this year. I'm not going to do other work. I'm just going to go all out at this thing we call Limitless, and we'll see where it goes. In the following months, I met a lot of incredible people, had lots of conversations about what our program could include and how we could reach people around New Zealand with it. I was given a lot of amazing opportunities as well, and in June 2016, I found myself in California at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. That photo on the top left, we were just waiting for Barack Obama to come out on stage, which was definitely one of the most exciting moments of my life, and his speech absolutely did not disappoint. It was amazing. But the Global Entrepreneurship Summit was quite significant for me because I felt like Festival for the Future was where the spark started for this idea. What if we could all do work that we were passionate about? And what I've found is that sometimes when you pursue that, that spark gets bigger and bigger as you start researching more and finding more people that do work they're passionate about. And there, I was meeting all these people that had taken their strengths, their values, what they're passionate about, and created these amazing businesses and social enterprises that were having so much impact. One other thing that happened at that place was that my awareness of the breadth and scope of injustice in our world was growing. The last night, I found myself at a table with 10 people from 10 different countries, and we were talking about our hopes and our dreams, our beliefs and our fears, and most importantly, our homelands and what that was like. And it was crazy because I could see these people talk with so much pride and love for their homeland, but that was paired with a deep pain for many of them, that there was conflict going on there, that there were huge, pervasive problems that invaded that life. And this became more real in the week after conference. I came home to my amazing, stable, safe home in Christchurch. One of my friends from that table went home. The day that she arrived at the airport, there was a bomb that detonated in the airport, and that wasn't something completely out of the blue for the place that she lived. And the same thing happened for one of my other friends a couple of weeks later. But what gave me so much hope is those people were working for change, and they are so close to the problem that their biggest asset is their experience and their love for their country. They are in the right place to make change. When I came home, I was straight into working on this program that we were creating for high school students. And in October 2016, we ran the first Limitless conference for 140 Year 10 students from 20 schools around Christchurch. And this was super exciting for me. This was the culmination of months spent working on this thing. One of the things that really solidified for me there was the power of being backed without proof of your capability. There were so many people that had came on and given us funding or put their hand up as a workshop facilitator or a speaker, giving their time, their talent and their resources. And I had told them about the vision. They had no proof that we could pull it off, but it was their backing that made us able to pull it off. And I can tell you that one of the most empowering things for me has been having conversations with people where you just know that they see the good in you and they see the best parts of you and they believe in you. And I can say that that's one of the most empowering things you can ever give someone, is to have that conversation with them and actually take actions to support them. The other amazing thing was that when you give people permission to own a radically different culture, they do. These young people, I didn't want it to be a factor that some of them were from Decile 2 schools, some of them were from Decile 10 schools, and their backgrounds looked really different. And I saw many young people that really stood up and owned a different culture that we wanted to create at that conference that was going to enable them to get the most out of it. After the conference, we also launched the online portal to connect those students to opportunities for their development. But once that was all done, I came to this point of what next again, standing back and going, okay, what's the next step? And surprisingly, I felt that I was a little bit lost. I don't know if anyone here has finished a big project before and finished it and gone, actually, I feel really lost and scared of taking the next step almost. So what I had to do is come back to the point of what is our purpose? What is Limitless all about? And what I came to is that our purpose is about connecting young people to self-awareness of their strengths, their values and their passions, and the power of those to address the challenges that our world faces through purpose-driven work. And secondly, to connect them to opportunities where they can keep building on those strengths, those values, those passions, find more about themselves, gain the skills, gain the experience, and do great things through purpose-driven work. Why I think this is important is we're each going to work 80,000 hours throughout our lives. That's pretty crazy. But imagine what you could do with that time. And at the point where we're on the verge of all this technological change, this change in how the world of work works and things like that, what if the constant were to be amongst the 7 careers that we'll have and the technology we'll have access to? Imagine if the constant was our values, our strengths, what we brought, how we worked to see the world that we want to see through all those different roles. But I think it's bigger than this. There's another stat that we'll each have, even the most introverted person will influence 10,000 people throughout their lives. And this is about the whole of life. It's about how you take those values and those strengths and those things to your everyday. Because who's to say that that one conversation you have with someone where you are empowering them is any less impactful than a 40-hour week you work on an important project? I reckon we have this real linear way of looking at a cause and an outcome, but actually everything we do is connected and everyone is connected. But the reason why I have decided to focus on work is because I don't think that being the change we want to see in the world should be an extracurricular. I reckon it can be every day. And no matter whether we're starting our own organisation, we're working in an organisation where we reckon we can have really big impact with their values, or we're working in an organisation where we don't align with the values, but we work with integrity to what we believe, I think we can have some amazing impact. And I just want to finish with this. The Co-Liberate girls said it yesterday. The biggest investment they make is into themselves, because they are the most central and important part of their business. And I want to say that it's not selfish to invest in yourself. It's not selfish to find out more about what you bring. It's not selfish to take care of yourself, to take time out, to look after your well-being, because the greatest gift you have to give the world is yourself. Wholly and fully is yourself. And my greatest hope is that we would all take the courage to live a fearlessly authentic life. Thank you.